You ever notice the more you stay calm and the more you stay centered to what you're experiencing, life seems more simple. It doesn't seem as stressful as we make it seem to be. I tend to say that we are in control of our reality, but I'm learning that I'm not even sure if that's true. I know that we do have the control of manifestation, and manifestation is simple as your words. It's not a coincidence when you make words. What is it called? Spelling. You have a choice on what you want to say, what you want to think, and who you want to become. And those are all forms of manifestation. So within that, you do have the control. But other than that, we're not in control of anything else. And I find peace within that. I no longer have the urge to, I'm currently shedding the urge to feel like I have to control everything. I realized throughout this couple of months that the more and more you feel the need to control is the more you realize you feel the need to control so much because in your head you feel like you have no power or any control. Your whole life you thought that you couldn't control anything that happened in your childhood. You didn't have any say-so. Your words, your opinions, your feelings didn't hold any weight to those people. So now you try to cope and control everything that you can to at least feel like you have that control. But in reality, you feel like you need all of that control because you remembered the state of fear you were in when you were a kid, or when you were younger, or even now. You remember that fear, and you want to do everything in your power to not feel that fear of not knowing what comes next, the fear of not being able to control the outcome, not being able to know what's going to happen. But I'm here to say that fear and that need to control, you should listen to it. You should talk to your shadow. You should talk about those hard feelings that you have within, because like I always say, you cannot escape pain, but you can always alchemize it. You can transform it, transmute it. You cannot create or destroy energy. So within that pain, talk to your pain. Talk to yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why. I didn't figure this out until I actually sat down with myself, cried, and be like, this is why. You have to be brutally honest with yourself, because the truth will only set you free, even if it hurts. I've always been like a tidy person. I've always been a neat freak, like all the time. I met someone who was 10 times of a neat freak as me. Then I would see the way they act when it comes to tidiness. And I'm just like, wait, the dots are connecting. And around that time, I also watched the movie Split. I recommend people to watch it, but I do have a warning. It is dark. It is. But I learned so much within that movie. But if you don't know what the movie Split is, it's about this man. He has multiple personalities. I think it's like 26. And they are basically, he's like one of the patients from this psychiatrist who she's like trying to get the world to know about this superhuman ability, because she saw it as a superhuman ability, which it is. So with the multiple personality disorder, he has 26 spirits enabling and holding in his vessel, and one of them, his name was Dennis. And Dennis really struck my attention. Dennis is very clean cut, precise, and straightforward. When I tell you clean cut, I'm telling you clean cut. Like, and it kind of reminded me of how I used to be. And I'm like, wait a minute, am I like that? Like his form of tidiness and being clean and perfect and stuff like that, it reminded me of myself. It reminded me of how I was raised. And I'm like, wait a minute, why is that? And then This is kind of a spoiler alert, so if you don't want to listen to that, I think you could skip 30 seconds. So let me talk fast. He was saying like, yes, I had to make this personality because to save the actual person. I can't remember his name. He was saying we had to be made, and we had to come here to keep him safe, because his life, like the actual like person before these personalities and different vessels came in, he was abused as a kid because his mom was like a neat freak, and she would brutally beat him if he made the tiniest mess. So now this personality came about to come and make him safe, but it's 20 years later. He's no longer in that space. So now his vessel and his mind went rogue, and now all of these personalities are developing. And it reminded me, like, that need of control is coming from a place of fear. That I truly feel like watching that movie really made me like reflect on my own, like, oh my gosh, that's literally kind of what I'm going through. Like, I always felt like, and it was a subconscious thing. I'm not like cleaning, I'm like, oh, I gotta clean because if I don't clean, I'm gonna be mad. No, like, I'm outside of the environment, and yet I think to myself, oh, I need to be clean all the time. Like, it's just like a thing. It's like I don't even think about it. It just happens. Like, I gotta clean up stuff. If I see crumbs, wipe the crumbs. If I see water, wipe the water. Now I'm like literally like allowing myself to be like, it's okay. If you see a crumb on the bed, you don't have to flick it. If you see that the bed is like wrinkled, you don't have to flatten it out. There's no harm. So within that, I say, allow yourself to just be. And be patient with yourself, because this isn't something that's easy. Nobody will really understand what you're going through because they might not go what you're going through. And within that, allow yourself to just be. Keep reminding yourself that everything's okay. Like, and that's just an example, but I'm talking about in the realms of control. And other examples of you feeling like you need control could also be like the person you're with or the friends you have. You're so used to like being the top dog or wanting to be the mom or the dad of the group or something like that. So you pick people that subconsciously you feel like they need fixing, or you feel like they need a leader or something like that. No, that's not inherently true. Why not go for people that are in aligned with you? Why not? So I'm gonna close this video off short, and I want you to ask yourself for today or however long you want, what forms of control am I enabling each day? Why do I feel like I need to control everything? And actually dive deep and actually ask those hard questions. And when you ask yourself these questions, there's going to be memories that might resurface. And that's a good thing, because your body's releasing that. So let it be released, and be honest with yourself, and hug yourself, and be gentle with your inner child, because they need all the love that they can get. And you need all the love that you can get. You got this. Stay resilient, stay honest, stay kind, and stay beautiful reflection. Comment down below how you're thinking, and I love for this to be a discussion. Thanks for having time with Tatiana the Optimist. I'm out. Bye.